Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a review that a lot of people have been waiting for since they found out that I got these. And they are the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Vault palettes. I have 3 of them. I did not buy all 4. I have a lot to say about this, a lot to show you. So if you're ready, then I'm ready. So let's get started. Before we get started, I did want to let you guys know that I was planning to have this done yesterday for a special Sunday edition video, but I was so under the weather and my throat hurt so bad, it still hurts a little bit, that I couldn't do it. So yeah, on to the show. Alright, you guys like my shirt? It says lattes and lipstick, but today it's like tea and eyeshadows. Anywho, we are going to talk about the newest Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collaboration, which is the Vault collection. Like I said in the intro, I have a lot to say about it. I have a lot to show you. I'm going to try to get through this as fast as possible, but I have notes, and you know it's serious when this girl's taking notes on stuff, because there's a lot of drama that has been surrounding this collection, and I want to kind of hit on some points about it. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So for those of you who don't know, Jaclyn Hill came out with this palette last year, which is the Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe, and this is what it looks like, and it's 35 shadows. Yeah, 35 shadows for $38. This was the palette of 2017, and I actually like it, even though it looks like mine hasn't been touched. I have used it quite a lot, and I actually enjoy it. So when Jaclyn did a little teaser a few months back on a new product, we all thought it was going to be her makeup line coming out. Well, it actually ended up being another collaboration with Morphe. And what she said in this collaboration, they are leftover eyeshadows that didn't make it into the palette, therefore called the Vault collection. It does come with 4. I only purchased 3 because one of them I did not want at all. They're all color themed on this one, and what she said, like I stated, they are shadows that didn't make it into her original palette. Now, she said that these were the same formula that she used for the shadows for her palette. Everything was great. Everything worked great until we started seeing swatch videos of it. Her swatch video was a little bit sketch because she wasn't really doing like one swipe swatches. She would be going back and forth into the shadow with the swatch, and it just didn't look like the same shadows that were in the first collection. Well, and this is all the backstory for those of you who may have been, you know, living under a rock, or who just don't pay attention to makeup like I do. But she sent out the Vault collection to influencers for PR, for them to test out and to review before the actual official launch, which was supposed to be June 26th, I believe. It was the weekend after Jeffree Star launched his Thirsty palette, so I believe it was June 26th. If it's different, I'll pop it in the bottom of the screen. So the influencers were starting to review the palettes, and Jaclyn and Morphe were noticing that the palettes were not performing as well as they should be. So they decided to pull all the palettes and start from scratch, which, you know, is a good thing. You know, at that time, everybody was really impressed with how Morphe and Jaclyn did it, because they saw that the product didn't work well, so they decided to take it off the market before millions of people bought it and got a crappy product. So with that being said, everyone was just like, okay, we'll just wait it out, see when the collection comes out. Fast forward to about 6 weeks later, Jaclyn and Morphe state that the collection is coming out on August 18th. Now, that's a little less than 2 months to start from scratch with a palette. Now, let me explain. When a palette goes out of stock, okay, let's take this one for example. When this palette goes out of stock, it already has the formulation of the shadows ready to go. So to restock something like this would take anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks because the shadows are already formulated, they're already approved, ready to go. But by what Jaclyn was saying with the Vault collection was that they were going to reformulate every shadow in every single palette and then release it. There's no way you can do that in a 2 month period. I would say a minimum of 6 months minimum to do that. So when it was announced that these palettes were coming back out, everybody was just like, well, how did they do it so fast? And there are theories that have been popping up. One of them is a lawsuit that Becca had, or a cease and desist that Becca had issued to Morphe over the packaging. I don't want to get into that. I am actually going to link Beauty Truth Sleuth's video in my description bar so you guys can see that, because I don't like getting into all the legality situations of all that. But she did a really good video on it. She paid for, the information that she has. So I'll link that if you guys are interested in knowing more of that situation. So that was one thing. Another thing is that these aren't new palettes, that they're the same exact palettes. So before we get into my theories on it, I want to show you guys with swatches and with little video clips of me putting the shadows on, about how these shadows work and if they are up to par as the original palette was. So I have 3. I have Armed and Dangerous, I have Ring the Alarm, and I have Dark Magic. I did not buy, I think it's called Bling Boss, because I have so many purples. I don't need any more purples in my collection. Plus, from what I heard, that one wasn't really a problem palette. The ones that were the problems were mainly Dark Magic and Armed and Gorgeous, which I both, Armed and Gorgeous right here, which is both what I got. So let's go ahead and dive into the Ring the Alarm palette. Right, here is the Ring the Alarm palette. All the palettes have 10 shades in them. Is that right? Yeah, 10 shades in each palette. So you have 4 palettes, that's 40 shades, that if they were starting from scratch, yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. So I am going to go ahead and swatch this for you guys, and then I'm going to show you a little video of me using this palette to make a look. So first ones, and all the palettes do come with a mirror. So the first ones I want to swatch are Lolly Rush, I just stuck my finger in that, Lolly Rush, On Camera, and Boom. Now, the mattes feel a lot more dry than what they do in the regular Jaclyn Hill palette. But this is what they look like. There's no primer on my hand as always. I did use Rush in the video that I'm going to show you guys. I did have some blending issues and some patchy issues, but not as bad as some other ones that I have done with these palettes. Taking swatches off today with the Ulta Beauty makeup remover wipes, the regular ones, not the ones for sensitive skin, because the ones for sensitive skin don't take off squat. Alright, next I'm going to go in with Alert, Bomb Ass, Siren, and Mugshot. I used Bomb Ass and Mugshot in the look. Mugshot was okay. Bomb Ass is very underwhelming on a brush. Very underwhelming on a brush. But it's going to look stunning, as always, when you finger swatch it. But it's all about what the brush is like. These mattes in this palette just feel so dry and chalky. And they don't feel like that in the original palette. And these are just one finger swatches. Alright, I'm going to see if we can build up Siren. I just did the like that. And Mugshot can be built up, but it is really patchy, as you guys can see. Alright, in the last two shades we have are Framed and Secret. I used Secret in the crease to kind of deepen it up a little bit. It worked okay. It wasn't, you know, the greatest. It just worked okay. I'm just very unimpressed on the way that these mattes feel. Very unimpressed. And then there's this. See if we can build up Frame. And then Secret. That's just a hot, patchy mess. Alright, now I'm going to roll the video of me making a look with this palette. what happened when I tried to use the Ring the Alarm palette. Next, we're going to go in with Armed and Gorgeous. This seems to be the more popular palette of the bunch. I do believe this was one of them that did have to be reformulated, because I think people were having issues with this green shade right here. But this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to go ahead and swatch them for you. I have VIP, Access, Guilt Trip, and Coin. I did use Access as a transition shade on for the look I made. I did use VIP on the lid. Ooh, this Coin shade feels very... Ooh, feels very chunky and chalky. Oh, hell no. When you can't get a shimmer shade right, that's Guilt Trip. Let's see if we can build it up. Ooh, sorry if there's any shakiness. Yeah, Guilt Trip's not a great shade at all. Access does have a lot of patchiness to it. And it was very hard for me to get a really good blend on it. VIP was okay. And if you noticed, with the first video, with my shimmer shade, I could not get that shade to show up if it was just on a dry brush or a wet brush. I legit had to use my finger in order for that shimmer shade to show up at all. And yeah, very, very disappointing. All right, next we are going to go into Agent, Top Secret, Smooth Criminal, and Secure. I did use Agent and I used Top Secret as well. These mattes feel somewhat... Ooh, never mind. Secure doesn't feel smooth, but these mattes in here feel a little bit smoother than the ones in the first palette, the Ring the Alarm palette. This is what they look like. These shades are all mattes. Look at that. Look how terrible that is. And that, what? I did have a pretty hard time using Top Secret. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is a hot patchy mess. That's ridiculous. And the last two shades that we have are Prowl and Classified. I did use Prowl to try to deepen up the crease. And I'm going to tell you this right now. This shade does not want to blend at all. I had so much trouble blending that shade out. Ew. Classified just feels scratchy. Ooh. No. I mean, it looks good as a swatch, but when I put it on the brush and put it on my lid, it did not want to blend at all. It just wanted to stay still and stay patchy on my lid. It just was not cute at all. So now I'm going to run the footage of me making that look with the Armed and Gorgeous palette. Okay, and lastly, we have the palette that I used for the finished eye look I have today, and it is the Dark Magic palette. This one was the main one that they had issues with. This is what she looks like. And if you saw in all the videos, I did use this shade Poof as my base for all three looks, because that's the only base shade I had. And I wanted to keep it within this collection. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and swatch Poof, Power Cut, Shh, and Trickery. I did use Power Cut on the lid. I used Shh up here as a transition shade. And I used Poof as the base for all of my looks. These just don't feel great. I mean, if you would have blindfolded me and had me feel one of these compared to the regular Jaclyn nail palette, I would not have guessed that they were the same formula at all. You're not really going to see Poof because it's more of a base shade. And I did just do 2 swipes on this one. I'm sorry. Shh actually is a really great transition color. I did have a little bit of issues trying to get a lot of the the pigment to show up, but once it did, it blended out beautifully, and it is a really, really good transition color. Power Cut, I did have that issue where I had to use my finger to get it to apply onto my lid. I could not use a dry brush, and I could not use a wet brush at all. So I had to use my finger in order for it to apply to my lid. Alright. The next ones we have are Diversion, Potion, Busted, and Inside Job. I did use Potion in the crease, and I used Busted on the outer corner of my eye. Potion was okay as far as blendability, but I did have to pack on quite a bit to get the pigment to show up. Busted is very pigmented, and it is very hard to blend out. I had a time getting it to blend. This is what they look like. They do have kickback. I will say that. They do have kickback. And there is fallout with the matte shades. Not a lot though, but there is some. All right. In the last 2 shades, pardon my hair too, it's doing its own thing today. Last 2 shades we have are Mojo and Temptress. These mattes, I am not a fan of the way these mattes feel at all. Oh, what is this? What is that hot? What is this? And I thought this was the black that she, like, raved about. That is just terrible. Oof. I did not use Temptress on my lower lash line. I used Busted on my lower lash line. So now I'm going to show you how I achieved this look, and I will be right back to talk to you about my final thoughts. Alrighty, so I hope that the swatches and me showing you how I try to get them to work kind of gave you a little bit of insight on the shadows themselves. Now, let's talk about this. Let's get real. I honestly think that these are the same formula as before. I don't think these were reformulated at all. I really don't. And I noticed something on the back of this box. I got mine from Ulta, by the way. I did not get mine from Morphe. I got mine from Ulta. And I noticed something on the back of this box. There's a sticker on the back of it covering up the original ingredients list. So I'm going to take the sticker off real quick, and I'll be right back. And we're going to see if there's any difference between this ingredient list and the one that's on the sticker. Cool, I'm back. They did not want me to get this sticker off at all, but I did get it off. This is the sticker with the ingredients list, and this is what was underneath the sticker. So I am going to skim through this real quick to see if there's any differences at all. Okay, now I noticed one thing, that they switched talc and mica on the list. Okay, now on the box it says iron oxidized black, and on this box it says iron oxidized black, iron oxidized yellow, iron oxidized red. Whereas this new label, it just has iron oxidizes, and it labels the number of the black, red, and yellow. So don't let that fool you. Let's see. These are the same. They're the same. The only thing that's different is that mica and talc are switched. Mica and talc are switched. Mica and talc are switched. That is the only thing that is different with these two lists. It's the exact same formula. It's just they worded it differently from this sticker from this box. So everything else is in the exact same order. There's no difference except for mica and talc being switched. Only difference. I'm just saying. So, as far as the ingredients go, they're pretty much the same. I knew that was going to be an issue. Also, the packaging is the same. And I do believe that if you were to destroy thousands and thousands of palettes, you wouldn't just pop the pans out and then put new pans in to old packaging. That's ridiculous. You would have to get brand new packaging to put brand new shadows in. And like I stated before, in order for them to get this out and reformulate 40 eyeshadows, it would take at least 6 months, because like they said, they reformulated every single shadow. And if you reformulated every single shadow, that's going to take longer than 2 months. It's going to take at least 6 months. Also, another thing I noticed is that in the original launch, they were not supposed to be in Ulta stores right away. Sorry if I'm shaking anything. Let me move this over. They were not supposed to be put into Ulta stores and online at Ulta right away. It was just going to be on Morphe. But for this, for this launch, Morphe had it, Ulta Online had it, and the Ulta stores had it. So that's a little suspicious to me too. That makes me feel like they took the old products and gave it to Ulta, and they kept the new ones for themselves if, you know, Morphe did have new packaging. Sorry, I'm fixing my sleeves. Or new products. So that's another thing that got to me, was that. Unfortunately, I did not get the old Vault. It was only sold in Vegas, and I wasn't able to get anybody out there to purchase it for me. So I'm not able to do a comparison side by side of the palettes, but I will link Thomas Halbert's video on his comparison with these with these palettes, because it is amazing. He did a great job doing it. So I will link his video down below. Make sure you check that out. But I'm sorry. If you have this, you really don't need these at all, because it's not the same formula at all. And also, I feel like, especially with the Ring the Alarm palette, where's that at? It's Dark Magic. With the Ring the Alarm palette, you have shades in here that are exactly the same. So, why? I could see maybe if she did like a pink palette, but she went warm tones with this one. And she's got warm tones in this. You have the darker tones in these other two palettes. It's just, if you have this, you really do not need this. This is unnecessary. I'm debating if I'm even going to keep it or if I'm going to return it to Ulta. This is unnecessary, in my opinion. So, yeah. I don't think they're worth it. They're $15 a piece, or you can buy the whole Volt for $45 on Morphe's site. It is sold out on Morphe's site. The Armed and Dangerous palette is sold out on Ulta site. The only ones that you can get on Ulta site are the Bling Boss, Dark Magic, and Ring the Alarm. On Ulta, you can only purchase these separately. You can't purchase them all together, but I do believe some Ulta stores are doing price matches. I have seen a couple of those go around. But like I said, if you have the original Jaclyn Hill palette, these are just a waste. There's no reason to have them. Don't forget to pick up your Piper and Poppy Melissa Leah Garrett skincare collaboration box. That information is down below. Also, we are still gunning for 1,000 family members. Once I hit 1,000 family members, I am giving away not one, not two, but 3 awesome prizes. All the information on the prizes and rules on how to enter is down in the description box below. And that's all that I have for you guys. As always, you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/MelissaLeahGarrett, on Snapchat as MelissaLeah1223, and on Instagram as MelissaLeahGarrett. Come on over. We have fun on those pages as well. I do not, however, have a Twitter account, so if you see one with my face and this gorgeous smile, report it because it's fake. Also, if that subscribe button is red, it's the wrong color. You need to change it. And don't forget to share this channel out to everyone as well. While you're at it, go ahead and hit that notification bell, because unfortunately YouTube was destined to make that bell a thing. That way you know when I'm posting, even though we know I post on mainly Tuesdays and Fridays. I love you all so much, and I will see you on Friday. Bye! My hair is legit doing its own thing today. Getting a little closer. You can see if these shadows work. Alright, I think we are good to go. Yeah. Ugh, I'm ready to take this makeup off. I have never been so ready to take an eye makeup look off before than now. No, 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 no.